share the screen. Okay, so we're finished with material. Today's question and answer buffer day, so-called. Tomorrow's the last regular test, and I want to let you know, the final exam comes up real fast Monday at 8:10 to 10:40. Okay, so I would say right after the test tomorrow, immediately go into final exam mode. Up to now, if you're not careful, I see students do this because you're used to having a test every 3 or 4 weeks, right? Like it's all spaced out. So like after the first test, right, you say, oh, good, I don't have a test for a few weeks. And then you have the test, okay, there's not a test for a few weeks, and so on, right? For this test, you can't afford to do that. So after tomorrow's test, you can't say, okay, I can relax, there's not going to be a test for 3 or 4 weeks. No, the final exam, the biggest test of all, is right away on Monday. So as soon as the test is over tomorrow, put yourself into final exam mode and start reviewing for the final. And Friday, I'll let you ask questions about previous exams. And then right away, bam, first day of final exams, first hour is our final exam from 8:10 to 10:40, and then we're all finished. Okay. So again, to study for the final exam, just study off the old exams. You don't have to turn any homework in for the final exam. You do have to turn in homework for this test. As usual, this is a regular test. Yeah, I guess everything is all checked off now. Okay, so turn in your homework for tomorrow's test as usual. There's that 70% rule. And so right after the test, don't relax and say, oh, good, there's not a test for a while. No, the final exam's right away on Monday, which is only a few days away. So go right to review. I'll probably put out the video on the solutions for tomorrow's test by Friday. So even if I don't get you back your tests by Friday, again, you can kind of grade yourself, so to speak, and look that over. Okay, so that's all. That's kind of at Friday. Friday, you just ask me questions and answers for previous exams, and then we take our final exam Monday. Everything is the same. I will put the exams on Canvas announcements. The only difference for the final exam is that it's an earlier time, of course, 8:10. Same rules as usual. You just don't turn in any homework. So, you have your video on, mute yourselves. If you have any question, put it in the chat. I need to see your face during the test and so on, right? So that's pretty much what's happening there. Okay, so I think that's it. I will now let you ask questions about anything. I have nothing, ordinarily I would say, or I would threaten you with, if you don't have any questions, I'll go on to new material. And then I just realized, oh, there is no new material. We're done. So that's pretty much about it. Okay. So I'll check the chat. I do see at least one question. So go ahead and start putting stuff in the chat if you wish. And again, for Friday, I would rather we just take questions from previous exams. So don't go back and say, can you do 5.2 problem 3 or something like that. It's not necessary. Just look over the previous exams. Okay, let's see, 6.35, 25. How many points is the final exam worth? Syllabus, it's worth 300 points. See here. Okay, so the worth is 300 points. How many questions? Right now I'm thinking about, well, we've had 6 exams, so 6 times 3 is 18, so maybe 20 questions. So 18, 3 questions from each test and maybe a couple more. So maybe 20 questions total is what I'm thinking about right now. Okay, let's see, 6.35, 25, 6.49, and 21. All right, and anybody else want to put something? Okay. All right, if not, then I'll make the chat disappear. You can keep typing, but I won't be able to see it until I finish this batch. Okay, so let me do those problems. Okay, 6.3, number 5. Let's see what that's about. And folks, go ahead and put your questions. I think there were maybe 4 or 5. I'll be done in, I don't know, 10 minutes. So if you don't have any questions, I got nothing. And we're just going to stop. But don't say I didn't give you a chance to ask questions, right? 6.3, number 5. Okay, 16x squared plus 25y squared equals 400. Okay. Okay. And a reminder for your cheat sheets, just take all the previous cheat sheets and have them all for the final exam, right? So get your formula sheet for the first test, second test, third test. You don't have to redo them, just bring them all. You can add to it. And you say, oh, I lost it, or I can't find it, or I misplaced it, I threw it away. You can make it up, make it again. Of course, you're at a little disadvantage because you threw it away as opposed to everyone else who still has it, then just bring it. Okay, let's see. We're supposed to have a 1 here. So divide by 400, divide 400, divide 400. So x squared over, I think these just reverse. So 400 divided by 16 is 25, plus y squared over 16 equals 1. Okay, so this is bigger than this. X is the larger, so I know it's going to be bulging in this direction. A is 5, B is 4. Yes, this is a 3, 4, 5, so C is 3. For the ellipse, A squared equals B squared plus C squared. So 25 equals 16 plus C squared. C squared is 9, so C is 3, focal distance. Okay. So left and right, 5, up and down, 4. Okay, so here we go. Left and right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up and down is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these two are the vertices. So vertex 1 is negative 5, 0. Vertex 2 is 5, 0. This is 0, 4 and 0, negative 4. We don't give any special names to them. They're just endpoints of the minor axis, I guess. Paper's curling on me, so I'm trying to uncurl it here. Okay, so I just round it. And the foci are always along the major axis, and C is 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So focus 1 is negative 3, 0, right over there. And focus 2 is 3, 0. And that's pretty much about it. So that's everything. Okay, 6.325 was asked for. Let's see. Vertices are negative 4, negative 2, negative 4, 8. Focal point at negative 4, 0. Okay. So vertex negative 4, negative 2, negative 4, 8. And a focus at negative 4, 0. Okay, and this time it just asks for the equation, so you don't have to do any more. And by the way, do the same thing for the test. If it doesn't say to graph it, or if it doesn't ask for something, don't give it. Okay, so sometimes some of you are saying, oh, I'm running out of time, or maybe you ran out of time because you did something that wasn't asked for. So it doesn't ask to graph it, you don't have to graph it. Don't waste time unnecessarily. It doesn't ask for the, the C or the A or the B. Don't give it, just do whatever it says. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. Let's do a mini graph of this. So all the action seems to be happening at negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got to go up to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I go down to negative 1, 2. Okay, so negative 4, negative 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a vertex. And negative 4, 8 is a vertex. And a focus at negative 4, 0. There we go. Okay. So halfway between the two vertices or the two foci is the center. So halfway between these 2 points, well, I just averaged 8 and negative 2. Add them up and divide by 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So negative 4, 3. 1, 2, 3 is the center. Check, that's 5, and that's 5. Okay, so A is 5. C is the distance from focus to the center, that's 3. So again, that's going to be a 3, 4, 5. B is 4. Right, the center's at negative 4, 3, so automatically that's going to be x plus 4 squared over something plus y minus 3 squared over something equals 1. Okay? It's bulging vertically because these are the vertices, so it'd be going something like this. Okay, so a is 5, a squared is 25, b is 4, so b squared is 16. So that looks like it. X plus 4 squared over 16 plus y minus 3 squared over 25 is equal to 1. Okay. So that's 6.325. That's here. Okay, 6.49 and 21. Six point four, number 9. Three x squared minus y squared equals 6x. Graph it, show the vertices, foci, and asymptotes. Okay, so do the whole works. Three x squared minus y squared equals 6x. Okay, move the 6x over. 3x squared minus 6x minus y squared equals 0. Factor out to 3. X squared minus 2x. Leave a space. Complete the square. Half and square. Half of negative 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. So plus 1 is really plus 3 because the 3 is distributing the 1. Okay. So 3 x minus 1 squared minus y squared equals 3. Divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. X minus 1 squared over 1 minus y squared over 3 equals 1. All right, see, x is first, it's positive, y is negative, so it's the horizontal type. It's going to look like that. A is 1, b is the square root of 3. That's like 1.7. For the hyperbola, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A squared is 1, b squared is 3. So c squared equals 4, or c is equal to 2. Okay, so I think we have everything. And yes, my center is 1, 0. Translated 1 unit to the right. Okay, so 1, 0 is where I start. Okay, here's 1, 0. Left and right is 1 unit. So here and here are my 2 vertices. Up and down is square root of 3. That's like 1.7. So 1.7, maybe like that, and like that. So I form my box. Draw my diagonals. And C is 2. So I go 2 units to the right and to the left. 1, 2. Okay, so focus 1 is negative 1, 0. Focus 2 is 1, 0. Vertex 1 is the origin. Vertex 2 is 2, 0. So my graph looks like this. And the equation of the asymptotes, that's over 1 up square root of 3. So the slope is square root of 3. Okay, so I'm going to put it in green, so I'll put it in green. Y minus 0 excuse me, square root of 3, x minus 1, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And the other asymptote is exactly the same except there's a negative. So y minus 0 equals negative radical 3 times x minus 1. Okay. So that's that one. 6.421. Foci are -1, 4, and 5, 4. Vertex at 0, 4. Put that down. Whoops. -1, 4, 5, 4. Vertex at 0, 4. Okay, so halfway between these 2 points is the center. So halfway between -1 and 5 is 2. How do you get that? You can take the average. Average is add them up and divide by 2. -1 plus 5 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the center is 2, 4. So everything's happening at y equals 4. See if I can do a quickie graph. One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1, 4 is a focus. 5, 4 is a focus. Call it F1 and F2. So halfway between them is 2, 4. That's the center. A vertex is at 0, 4. Okay, so that distance is A. So A is 2. C is the distance from the center to either focus. That's 3. All right, so here are the foci. So one vertex is on this side, the other vertex must be here. So it's going left and right. That means x comes first. So automatically it's x minus 2 squared over something minus y minus 4 squared over something equals 1. Okay, A is 2, that means this is a 4. A squared plus B squared equals C squared for the hyperbola. A squared is 4. C squared is 9. B squared is 5. B is radical 5. But the main thing is B squared goes underneath here, so that should be a 5. So the answer is x minus 2 squared over 4 minus y minus 4 squared over 5 equals 1. Okay. All right, and that's it for that one. Okay, I think I've caught it with that batch, so let me go back and open up the chat and see what else came in. I did see something else come in, but I don't know what it was. Let's see, 6.49. Okay, so I think I've done the ones that were the first round. Let me go back and check more. Okay, 6.4, number 7. 6.7, 7, and 13. 6.7, 7, 6.7, 13, 6.47. Okay. Directions for ellipse and hyperbola. How do you know which way it's going? Okay, so for the ellipse, you look at the larger number. So x squared over plus y squared over equals 1. Okay, so let's pretend this is 36 and this is 9. Okay, I know automatically it's going to go like this. The larger number. If it was reverse, x squared over 9 plus y squared over 36 equals 1. it's larger by y, so I know it's going to go like that. And for the hyperbola, you go by whether x or y comes first. So hyperbola. Okay, so let's say x squared comes first. X squared over, I don't know, 4 minus y squared over 9 equals 1. Automatically, that tells me it looks like so. You can put this on your cheat sheet. If y comes first, it's the other. So y squared over 16, let's say, minus x squared over 25 equals 1. Okay, that tells me it's going to go up and down. If that's what you mean, I'm not sure if that answers your question, but that's basically it. So for the ellipse, whichever is the larger number, that's the way it's bulging. Okay, larger with x, so bulging in x direction. Larger with y, bulging in the y direction. Kind of makes sense. X squared is first, so left and right. And that makes sense because what's x? X goes left and right, right? So left and right type. And up and down for y, and the y-axis, y goes up and down, so that kind of makes sense also. Okay, so I think that answers your question. If not, you can ask again. We're on mute again. Okay, 6.4, number 7 was asked for. Okay. 6.4, number 7 is 9y squared minus 18y, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So let me try to write that down. 9y squared minus 18y minus 4x squared equals 27. Okay, so factor out the 9. Now, the x squared doesn't have any x next to it, so there's no completing the square for that one. So we leave that alone. Okay, so complete the square. Do the half and square stuff. Half of negative 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. Plus 1 is really plus 9. Right? 9 times y minus 1 squared minus 4x squared equals 27 plus 9 is 36. Divide by 36, divide 36, divide 36, divide 36. Y minus 1 squared over 4 minus x squared over 9 equals 1. Okay, so the center is at 0, 1. Translated 1 unit upwards. That's my center. A is 2. B is 3. A squared plus B squared equals C squared for the hyperbola. A squared is 4. C squared is 9. B squared is 9. C squared equals 13. So C is square root of 13, which is about 3.6. All right, this one asks for the whole works. So centered at 0, 1. Okay, 0, 1 is right here. That's the center. All right, up and down is 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So here are my two vertices. Vertex 1 is 0, 3. Center is 0, 1. Vertex 2 is 0, negative 1. Right over there. Right over there. B is 3, left and right, because it's underneath the x. So 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Draw my box. Connect the diagonals. Take the two vertices and curve it toward the asymptotes. That, and like that, and like that, and like that. Foci, I go up and down 3.6 from the center. 1, 2, 3.5. But write it as exact answers. So focus 1 is 0, comma 1 plus radical 13. Go down 3.6, 1, 2, 3.6. Focus 2 is 0, comma 1 minus radical 13. Right there. So 2 foci. For all the graphs, the parabola, the ellipse, and the hyperbola, right? The focus is on the inside of the graph. And then the equation of the asymptotes. So the point is 0, comma 1. That's fixed. And I need the slope. So this is over 3 and up 2. So that's 2/3. Y minus 1 equals 2/3 x minus 0. The other one's the same thing except for negative 2/3. Y minus 1 equals negative 2/3 x minus 0. Okay, so that's the equation of one asymptote. That's the equation of the other asymptote. Okay, 6.7, number 7. Number 7. X equals secant t, y equals tangent t. Find the corresponding rectangular equation, sketch the graph, and show the direction of increasing t, starting with t equals 0, perhaps. I will use identity 1 plus tangent squared t equals secant squared t. I have that, now I force it. Tangent is y, so that's 1 plus y squared. And secant squared is x squared. Right? Tangent squared, square both sides here, you get y squared. Square both sides here, x squared is secant squared. So there we have. Okay, move that over. 1 equals x squared minus y squared, or x squared minus y squared equals 1. Okay, so we know that's a hyperbola. Okay, well, in this case, you just want a quick sketch, so we don't have to give everything. I know it's going to be like that, and like that, and like that, and like that. My box is basically a square. Okay, my vertices are here and here. I already know it's going to look like that. So, like that. Okay, then starting with t equals 0 and increasing t, if I plug in 0, secant of 0 is 1 divided by cosine of 0, that's 1. Tangent of 0 is 0. Okay, so it starts here. And then, well, as t increases, y increases, and x also increases. So it looks like this. It's going in this direction, evidently. Okay, that's all we need for that one. And then 13. So you have all of these. I'm not sure how I want to do this. There's 4 parts to it, and I already did it, but so I'm going to do it rapidly. X equals t, y equals t squared. Okay, let me check the chat here. Get over there. Okay. 6.7, number 7. Okay, 6.47. I already did that also. And did that, I think I've caught up. Okay, 6.713 if I don't see anything else, I'll go ahead and do some of it or somewhat rapidly because I know I did the whole thing and there's 4 parts to it, A, B, C, D. Okay, so let's just go with it. So this says if I plug in t, I get y equals x squared, right? So I know that's like that. And if I plug in 0, I'm at 0. If I plug in 1, I'm at 1, 1. Okay, so the direction is like so. B, x is t squared, y equals t. That's reverse. So since y and t are the same, I can make that x equals y squared, and that opens to the right. Again, 0 gives me 0, 0. 1 gives me 1, 1. So it's going this direction. Okay, and then C, x equals t squared, y equals t to the 4th. Okay, x is greater than or equal to 0, y is greater than or equal to 0. That's the key thing there. Okay, I can never let this be negative. I can write t to the 4th as t squared squared because x is equal to t squared. So it is y equals x squared, but because I'm restricted to first quadrant, I only have this part really. Okay. And that's the direction of increasing t. All right. And finally D, and I'm checking the chat. I don't think I see anything else. I think I've caught up. All right, so after I do D in less than a minute, if nobody else has a question, we're finished, folks. What time is it? Only 9:40, 40 something. Okay, D, x equals t to the 4th, y equals t squared. So again, because you're raising something to the 4th power and squaring it, x is greater than or equal to 0, y is greater than 0. I can write x as t squared squared, and since t squared is the same as y, I get, x equals y squared. So same graph as B, except first quadrant. So once again, the only real part that you have is like so. And this is the direction of increasing t, because when I plug in 0, I'm at 0, 0. If I plug in 1, I'm at 1, 1. So this is the direction that we're going. Okay. And I think I've caught up with the chat. If I'm wrong, please ask again. I think that's it. Okay, so anybody else ask me a question, either unmute yourselves or put it in the chat if I missed a question of yours. And if I don't hear anything, we're done, folks. Let's see. Okay, why are C and D only positive? Okay, let's look at this. Can x ever be negative? T to the 4th power. No. Same thing for y. Y can never be negative. So that's why we're only in the first quadrant. Likewise for C. Any real number squared cannot be negative. Any real number to the 4th power can only be positive. So that's why you only have this part of the graph. And same logic for that one there. Okay. All right. Anybody else, please? Okay. Seeing nothing and hearing nothing, then we're done. All right. So you can start turning your homework whenever, but otherwise be ready for tomorrow's test. Friday, your homework, quote unquote, is to ask questions for the final exam. Okay. All right. That'll do it for today, folks. So I'll see everybody tomorrow for the test. All right. Bye, everybody.